Welcome to Animation Principles in the 24th and a half century.
Also with Harmony here, you have, you start off usually in your default mode, which is right up here. So when I go to default mode, I'll click that. And it usually takes a little bit and suddenly it changes. It's like, for some reason, when you change this default setting here, you can change it to different things. Usually sometimes I put it at animating, sometimes I put it hand drawn. You don't have to put it in compositing or scripting. Those are a little bit advanced. But if you want to change your layout, that's how you do it. And you just have to press that, change that, and it'll do the rest. Okay, so yeah, so that's all you have to do is make sure you have that color card on the bottom and whatever other layers you want to put up there. You're mainly just looking for, whenever you add a drawing layer, you're just going here and you're putting down drawing. You also have this Control R, which will do that. That's just like kind of a shortcut. It'll pop it up there. You don't really need to get any of this stuff yet. It's just mainly your color card and your drawing layer. And you can actually, when it comes in here, you can click on that name, like right in here, and you can change it, from drawing layer to, whatever you want to call it. First place. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I think it was on animating, so just bear with me a second. Let me just, so it pops. It didn't move over. That's great. All right, so what I was doing there is I was trying to get this information here. This is my start. This is frame 1. So I pull this down. You can see this is my timeline. So when I start to move this like this, you'll see that the frames are right over here. And so that's your frames, and you can set like your start frame is 1 and my end frame is 2. And if you look at your timeline here, you have these black indicators right here. So that was set at 24, because I want to show you what a second looks like. But you can set this like this. You can also set it up here. So right now it's just going to play, when I go through this, it's just going to play what 24 frames. It's just going to play at 24. So let me just show you what this looks like. And over here to play the stuff, you have a little blue triangle over here. And that is that's your play button. You also have this is a play and render. So if I press that, it's going to open up another window and it will just kind of, put all this information in there. And then this is actually loop. So I'm going to put loop on there because I want it to go from 1 back to 1 to 24 and just keep repeating. All right, so this is what constant motion is right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this, and you can see. So basically, I'm just taking this object. I'm going from point A to point B, right? And I've done this with one drawing. In Harmony, you can do it, you can draw these out in separate fields, like right over here. These are just different drawings that I've, put on the timeline. They're on 2s. That's why there's these little spaces here. But you can also, there's a way of just selecting an object like this, and then you can actually make a keyframe, which is over here. So you can put this, and to do this, you need to go over to this side of your screen where it's the animate guy. This is where this is right here. So you put that on animate, and then over here, there's this thing called translate. And this kind of lights up, and this is where you will put your keyframe. So right now it's going like this, it's going from this position all the way to there with one drawing. It's just telling the drawing, it's just moving it from one place to the next. Now, if I go in the middle here and I put another keyframe like this, And if I move this up like that, what's going to happen now is you'll see that it goes up to this keyframe and then it goes down to that keyframe like that. You see? So this is all like one drawing, and I'm just manipulating it using the keyframe function along with these this animate button and this translate button, which have to be on, because if you don't have those on and you make one drawing and then you go to the next keyframe and you make a keyframe there and you pull that over and those aren't on, it's just going to sit there on the first drawing you had. It's just going to sit there. So that's why those these two buttons have to be on. Otherwise, it looks like this. Right now, I've got this keyframe. You can go over to minus keyframe or KF. It just will delete that keyframe right over here. There it is. So now if I took that keyframe and I didn't have my thing turned on, and I go to keyframe and I move it up here, what happens is it goes like, oh, okay, so you want me to move everybody up because I moved it upwards. So now it's not on my line anymore, you see. So just by changing this one thing here and adding that up position, it went to this keyframe and made that go up. It went to this one over here and it made that one go up. This is just something that you can use with doing, like, you could do this with titles, or if you have some object you just don't want to draw all the time, you just want to make it very simple, just draw it once, you know, and just have it move around. Like backgrounds, this is great for backgrounds. If you have, you know, something in the background, you've got a tree and you're trying to make it look like the tree is moving faster than the background, you can do it like this. So this is all on ones, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So it's all on ones. So if I go up under this, right down at the bottom here, it says show onion skin. You can click on that button, and now you can see up here at my timeline, this is where my, the thing that's highlighted, that's where my keyframe, my frames are right there. That's the one that's being selected. And right now you see this little arrow on this side, this red thing. This is actually showing you the past, and you can you know, move this arrow. You know, usually it comes in like that, but you can move it all the way back if you want. And just like the beginning little arrow here, you can click on that and you can move it like that. And as you see, that's very constant, right? So the spacing is exactly the same as the next one and the next one. That's why it's just going like, it's very smooth, right? It's like very smooth. It's not very mechanical. One drawing that I just copied and pasted and copied and pasted and put on this timeline up here, and I just moved them by, you know, little bit, and I'm trying to get them in between each other like that. So they're kind of, you know, you can see how they're between each other like that. So for animation, drawing on an animation, we usually want to do it on twos. That, what you just saw, was on ones, and ones are very smooth. Ones are great for effects. If you were to draw anything you see in Disney when they did like lava, or they had water or splashes or anything like that, that's all done with ones, because ones is more realistic, right? It's like what we see all the time. But on twos, it just gives you more, you know, why not just draw 12 drawings per second as opposed to 24? So that was that whole thing. It's like, if we can just draw like half of our work and still get it to look good, no problem. Okay, so it's going from 25 to 48 on my timeline right here. And I'm going to turn off my onion skin so that doesn't confuse you. And now I'm just going to play through this. Now this is on twos. And let's see if you can see the difference. It's still moving smoothly across. It's on twos now. So there's not as many of those drawings. The spacing is a little different than the last one, with the onion skin showing you that it's about the same, pretty much. Same as this one over here. This one is a little tighter. See how that one is? The spacing is, I'm doing like 24 drawings here for 1 second, and over here I'm only doing 12. So there's 12 drawings of this on 2s right here. Not only are you trying to figure out how to use this program, but you're also trying to kind of train your eye, you know? So how fast can you see that? You know, most people, if you showed them on 1s versus 2s, they don't care. It's a ball. Ball goes from A to B. What's the big deal? But that's the thing. Us animators are all like, yeah, but you don't understand. That's on 2. You're seeing it twice as long. You know, and I only had 12 drawings, and I still got the same look and everything. What I wanted to do is just show you some other things here. And this is where we're talking about the whole ease in and ease out. So as you can see, that first 2 things there, that they were all done on using constant motion. So it looks very mechanical. It's all the same speed. If you guys have any questions, please, you know, feel free to ask. Okay?
Sir?
Yeah.
How do you set it on 2s again?
Ah, okay. Well, good question. All right. So let's see. When you draw something on the screen, I just made a little something like that. I've just made that. That is my 1 frame of that. Okay. Right. So it's there. Let me turn off my onion skid so you can see that there's only 1 frame that's been drawn and is there. Now, if I want to make that more, right now it's on 1s. So to make it on 2s, you just go to hold down your shift button. As long as it's selected, you push shift and plus, and now you got 2 frames of it right there. Okay. If you wanted to make it more, you could go, you know, just shift and then hold it and keep doing it. And you got a whole bunch. There's also a way of doing this where you can go up to, it's called F5. When you push F5, it will ask you this question. It'll say, and here's some other ways. So usually, here it is. See, it says F5 right here. That's what I was trying to get on my computer here. That'll say extended exposure. So what you could do is you could say, I want to go from 51 or whatever that is. What frame? Yeah, that's 51. And I want to go to, you know, 70. Frame 70, I hit that, boom, it goes to 70. So that's another way of getting frames. Remember, when you are making more frames on your timeline here, you can use this called exposure. So for me, I always thought exposure was like light or dark exposure, like a camera or something like that. But in this case, it's increased exposure isn't brightening up something, it's making more frames. So in this one, it just says plus. So if you sit there and you push plus, it might not work. But usually on, at least for me, on my PC, I always have to push shift and plus, and it works. But if you decrease the exposure, you push minus. So that does that. You can add a key and all this. There's all this other stuff. You can set this on 3s to 4s. You can just set exposure to like, but here I can show you. So there it is. And then if you don't want all that stuff in there, you can just push minus like that. Let me see, maybe I'm wrong. I'm gonna push plus. Nope, see, I'm just pushing plus. Not doing anything on my end. So that's why I gotta push shift and plus, and it works. Yeah.
So for when you're animating in 2s,
yeah.
Suppose like, okay, so the next project is the bouncing ball.
Yeah.
And you see it like you see it vertically dropping.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it 2s, will it look like it's sort of floating in the air for a quick second, or no?
No, I mean, you can make it look like that if you add more drawings of it. If it sits there and then it starts to go. we'll go over that too. I'm going to go over the whole bouncing ball as well. All right.
For sure.
All right. So we call this ease out. So think of it ease out, ease out, ease out of the driveway, right? What does a car do when it eases out of the driveway? It slowly gets a little faster and a little faster as it goes out of the driveway. So that's what an ease out is. And this is what it looks like. So let's play that. You see? So it's just a slight, you know, it's slowly going faster, right? So you're easing out and you're bringing up your speed, kind of like driving a car. Now you can actually see the spacing there. See how it starts off? It starts off right at A, and it goes from there to there. And if you want to scroll through, well, like I'm doing right now, instead of using your mouse, you can use these. It's on your keyboard. There's the M, and then there's the question mark, and in between there's two of those little arrow keys. So if you just click on those, you can kind of go through it frame by frame. But see, that's what's happening. Is this is slowly going from there to there, and then it's going from a little bit more, and then it pops to another one, a little bit more, and it goes even more, and now we're in constant motion. So this is all about spacing. Animation's all about timing and spacing. And that's what you're looking at right now. See, there's the spacing of that. So that's an ease out when it's going from stop to getting faster. That's an ease out. So ease in is just the opposite of that. And it looks something like this. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my onion skin, because when you play stuff with the onion skin, it's really hard to tell. It's just all blurry, you know. You're seeing all those. So I always turn off onion skin so I can see it like this, and I'll play this one. So this is a ease in. So you're easing in. You're the car going fast, and oh, there's a cop. Oh, there's a stop sign. I better slow down, right? So this is what this looks like, right? So it's slowing down a little bit. It's a little abrupt there. The reason it is a little abrupt because I actually have it on one frame on these guys. I don't know why I did that. All right, so I think I was going to show you how it's going to do this. So let's just play it again. So you can see it kind of slows down at the end, but not too good, right? You see, it's kind of constant motion there, and it kind of slows down, but not too good. So how do you do that? Well, how do you fix it? Well, that's the best thing about this program. And usually with animation, you always have to fix your, you get it in the neighborhood, and then it's all about just going back and looking at it and studying it and going, how can I make this better? All right, so you can see right now, that's my spacing. It's very, very, there's a lot there, right? So what I'm going to do is this. I am going to actually, I made a mistake here. What? Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so this is where it's supposed to be. So what we'll do is this. We'll eliminate this one by just going delete. And then we'll take this one. And this is a fun thing too. So you have two frames like this. So that's my end frame at B. And that's how, look at that distance. Yeah, that's pretty bad, huh? Okay, we can fix that. So I'm gonna go over to my select tool right here, push select. I'm gonna grab this like that. I selected it, and I hold this over like this, so I see that little kind of compass thing there. Let's see. I wonder if I go out here if it does anything. It still works. Still works. I usually in past versions, I'd always do that because it wouldn't do it if you put it out here like this. But now it does. So someone must have listened to somebody and said, "Hey, why don't we do that?" So look at this. Look at this. I'm going to be like, look at that. And I'm going to do the next one. Oh, he's way out there. But you can see my onion skin right there. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to pull this over a little bit more, but I'm not going to go and get a little bit of distance there, just a little bit more, right? I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna click on that. I'm just working backwards and I'm just trying to get my distance a little bit more, you know, as I go away from it. So when I play it forward, it'll go pretty fast. So now you gotta admit, when I do this, it's actually, I'm gonna have to adjust this a little bit because as you can tell, if I pull this out so you can see, look at that, that's spacing pretty even. So that's gonna affect it. So now let's take a look at that. See what that looks like. Beat that. So you can see it a little bit longer when it holds. It still is flying up, but it holds like for 4 frames. So you can see that it's kind of slowing down to a stop. All right. Fascinating. I know, right? Okay, hold on. Actually, I'm actually not showing you. I'm missing 1 frame. Could you tell? No, I didn't either. I couldn't tell either. All right, so let me just put that at 1 frame. Let's move that little thing over. Yeah, so you see it a little bit better. There, it holds more at B. It doesn't keep going at the end. It kind of slows down for 2 frames. 4 frames, it holds there. Now that's a 4 frame hold on this drawing right here. Sits there, boink. Right? So you look at the whole thing here, and that's what, there's my ease in. I'm going at a certain rate, and then I slow down to a stop like that. All right. Any questions so far? So exciting. So I've got, this is frame, say 4, 3, 2, 1. So if I can just, so this is, say, ball 1 right here. I would draw this out. This would be my timing chart to show you what an ease in looks like, right? So I would do this. I would go, this would be the halfway mark. This would be another halfway and a halfway here. So basically what it looks like this. What's that noise? Get a noise here. So what it's doing is this would be, the halfway point would be 2, this would be 3, and this would be 4. You're slowing down. So it's, you know, you got your ball here, your ball's gonna go there. And so you put the ball in the middle. So that's number 2. This is 1, this is 5. And so if you have another ball in between those, that would be number 3. And if you had another ball between those 2, that would be number 4. So that's kind of what this whole chart is so it's the shorthand where your animator will give you ball 1 and ball 5. So your job as an assistant would be to actually fill in based on whatever those timing charts tell you to do. So that's what a timing chart is, and that's showing you an ease in. Of course, an ease out would be completely different. You're doing the reverse. You're going here, you're going there, you're going there. And this just these little lines here just show you like, well, how do I make ball 4? I don't get it. Oh, it's between these 2. So this would be 4, this would be 3, this would be 2. So see, it's the same deal. It's going here. There's number 5, right? So number 4 would be like right here, right? That's number 4. Sorry, it's in the middle, yes, but it's not down here. It's up here. So this would be number 3, and then right in between those 2 would be number 2. So see, it's easing out, right? It's getting faster as it goes, right? And so that's what this chart means. Now, if we have constant motion, it looks like something like this. We would just put it in the middle. You have this one here and this one here. So this would be 3, this would be 2, this would be 4, and you notice that it's constant. It's not getting faster, it's just a constant rate. And that's what this would look like, right? So we got the ball in the middle would be 3. And the ball kind of in between 1 and 2, 1 and 3 would be 2. And the ball in between 3 and 5 would be 4. But the spacing would all be equal as it went from here to there. So the logical thinking here is that, you know, if you want to go from A to B with 1 in between, you're here, you're going to go there in 1 in between. So logically, right? It's going to be in the middle. It's going to be boom, and then it's going to go there, right? That's the logical. Yep, you're right. That's exactly correct. Logically speaking, ball moves. We know it's moving to the left, right? Or sorry, to the right. Screen right, there it is. Because we can see it gives it a little indication of motion there. Yeah. Animated thinking. This is, you're thinking like an animator. How can I get that ball to there? Can I do it a different way? Anybody got some ideas? One drawing. You got one drawing. Anybody? You have one drawing, right? You have two drawing. You have the A and B, and you just have to add one in the middle.
A1.
No. What would it look
What?
like?
Oh.
Does it have to be a circle?
Long, really long.
Can stretch it.
I like that. Let's take a look. So animating, you're thinking with your animation brain now. Yeah, that's it. Let's take a look. Woo! Yeah. Right. Yeah. See, you can use what's called squash and stretch. This is just one drawing, but you can see that it's given that motion, it's given you a little bit of animation there. And remember, animation doesn't always have to be, you know, go from, you know, here to there, like the logically one where you had the ball, round ball in the middle. It's animation. You can have fun with it. You know, characterize it, make it a cartoon, things like that. Make it exaggerate, right? There's no wrong or right way. It just depends on what you want at the time. But see, this is a different way of doing it. So there it is. All right, so this is with two drawings going from one to the next, all right? So this is animating, same deal. We're kind of showing you it goes from one to the next. So animating wise, we're using that kind of squash and stretch, that mainly is stretch, showing the movement going from B to A, and then going from A to B, we're using just a regular circle with two in-betweens, but you can still see that motion. It's a little fast. So anyway, so there's those are your drawings there, going back, logical, and then the animated thinking part